I know it'll get better, but it just sucks.
So I just had maybe the most horrific Invisalign experience that I could have possibly imagined. I did not plan on making this video, and my intention is certainly not to tell you that you shouldn't get it. In fact, I think Invisalign or aligners or whatever you want to call them can be a really great solution. However, there are certain aspects of Invisalign that I didn't anticipate, and I want to talk about why I have Invisalign in the first place and then dive into what happened. I had braces in 10th grade and I had them for about 2.5 years. So while I got them to, of course, straighten my teeth, we were also trying to close my open bite. What is an open bite, you might ask? So if I bite down, these teeth, they don't meet. They're supposed to meet. I really wish I had before and after pictures of when I had braces because the difference is kind of mind-blowing. But just keep in mind, before I had braces, this open bite was so much worse. I was also told that my open bite might actually open back up over the course of several years, and well, it has. One of the things that I've dealt with over the last several years is gum recession, and my current dentist believes that my open bite and just the way that my jaw is set might have something to do with that. In order to address the potential root cause of my gum recession issues, he recommended I go see an orthodontist to see what could be done. So I went to a consultation with the orthodontist and she noticed that there was some crowding in the teeth and also this like very obvious open bite. And she recommended that I go ahead and get Invisalign, and we were also going to use rubber bands to help close my open bite. I'll be honest, I had no idea you could even use rubber bands with Invisalign, but hey, okay, like why the heck not? Once I agreed to everything and signed the paperwork, I got a 3D scan of my teeth, which was actually pretty cool, and waited a few weeks to get my Invisalign trays in. So I've had Invisalign now for about 6 weeks and I get a new tray every week. Now you can probably tell, but I don't have my Invisalign in right now because you know what? I'm still learning how to talk properly with them in. Now, I didn't anticipate the lisp to be as bad as it was, or is. It's frustrating, I'll admit. I'm a little self-conscious when I talk, but I am doing better than I was even a few weeks ago. Also, if you don't know this, when you get Invisalign, you have to get these attachments on your teeth. And for me, I think the attachments might be on all but 4 teeth. Everybody needs something a little bit different. This is just what I needed, and apparently I needed a lot of attachments. The first few days of Invisalign were a little frustrating. So because Invisalign wraps around all your teeth, I felt like my tongue was getting scraped up, but also when I took them off, I wasn't getting a whole lot of relief because I have all of these attachments, and so they were just rubbing on my lips. The inside of my mouth felt raw and angry, but that truly only did last for a few days. I got used to it pretty quickly, all was well. But then everything changed. This past Tuesday, I went back to the orthodontist to get 4 TADs put in my upper jaw. A TAD is a temporary anchorage device, and these are little mini metal screws that you put into your jaw to help move teeth faster and more efficiently. And TADs are typically inserted into the bone of your jaw in between the roots of your teeth. I was nervous when I went into this appointment because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if they're screwing something into my jaw, how could that not hurt? But I was told that all I would really need is just some ibuprofen and the pain would subside within about 24 hours. And apparently that's the case for most people, but that was not the case for me. So I got 4 TADs total. They put 1 on either side of my upper jaw and then they put 2 on the roof of my mouth. They put a topical numbing solution on all of those areas and then they followed up with the big guns with the actual shot. The shots, of course, were not fun. I could feel it. It did not feel good, but ultimately it did the job because then I was numb. But really, it was just watching somebody going into your jaw and screwing something in. That was kind of terrifying to me. It really looked like my orthodontist was a mechanic working on a car.
I just got back from the orthodontist. The numbing is wearing off and I'm so upset. I need to throw a pity party for myself for a second because oh my god, this is so invasive. This is terrible and I can't believe I have like a year of this. They like screwed them in. I'm talking funny. And then, but it was like putting the rubber bands on, I literally couldn't do it. So I have like a little tool to help me. There's just like no clearance. And it feels like I got my mouth pierced and I can't say that word. And I want to cry. As if I didn't feel self-conscious about the way I'm talking. It's just made it worse. I know it'll get better, but this just sucks.
So I go on about my day, I try to maintain a somewhat positive attitude, but the pain starts kicking in. Now I knew that there would be some pain, but the amount of pain that I was starting to experience felt a little over the top. And as the day went on and into the night, I was in excruciating pain. I couldn't think, I couldn't do anything but think about how much pain I was in. I took plenty of ibuprofen and it felt like that didn't even make a dent into the pain that I was experiencing. Real quick, I'm going to show you what the tads on the roof of my mouth look like. If you don't want to see the tads or the roof of my mouth, which I don't blame you, go ahead and skip to this timestamp so you can spare yourself. When they put the tads in initially, they're like pokey and they put these little round things on top of them. So it really does look like I got really hardcore piercings and I don't even have my ears pierced. I feel like I went from 0 to 100. The tads on the roof of my mouth are definitely the most bothersome and they do leave imprints on my tongue. So swallowing and even talking and eating, I'm still trying to figure out all these things. I notice it most when I'm eating and when I'm going to sleep at night and like, where do I put my tongue in my mouth? Okay, this is weird talking about my tongue. The first night I put ice packs on my face just to try and relieve some of the pain that I was experiencing and any swelling that came with it. But I'll be honest, that wasn't doing a whole lot and sleep that night was a little hard to come by.
The pain and the discomfort is unbearable. I truly couldn't work today. This is something I had no idea was a part of the Invisalign experience. I can't think about anything else other than how much pain I'm in. So I feel very vulnerable.
I did talk to the orthodontist and I mentioned that I think I'm experiencing more pain than I should be. And she wanted to make sure that I wasn't having any sort of sharp shooting pain because that would likely indicate that the tad had hit one of the roots of one of my teeth. Now, thankfully that wasn't the kind of pain that I was experiencing, but it still felt like my upper jaw was trying to expand to the point where it would just explode. And for maybe the first time in my life, I actually asked for some stronger medication. Now, she wasn't able to give me any, and so my dentist was the one who came through, but the deal was if I was gonna get any sort of stronger medication, I was gonna have to go to my orthodontist the next day to just make sure that everything was fine. So I was able to get some sleep Wednesday night, thank goodness, but I still woke up at like 3 a.m. with excruciating pain. I just felt like I wasn't able to manage it. But Thursday, I drove over to the orthodontist's office, and this was a different office like an hour away from me. And she wasn't even seeing patients that day, so I was really grateful that she was willing to work with me. And she noticed almost immediately that the left side of my face looked a little bit swollen. I knew it looked swollen. As she pulls my cheek back to look at the tad, she sees that my cheek and my gum are super inflamed, really, really irritated, and I was writhing in pain. I can't even begin to describe how relieved I was when she said that we were gonna have to take this outer tad out. And I have to say, getting a numbing shot where you're already in pain is not fun. But it's so worth it at the end because they got it out and I'm fine and life is good. Well, not entirely. The good news is I am no longer in a significant amount of pain. I can actually use my face, I can smile, but the bad news is that my orthodontist is gonna have to put the tad back in. So we're gonna wait about 3 weeks for everything to heal, and then we're gonna try again. To be perfectly honest, I'm dreading it. I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best. That's all I can really do. I will say that the right side of my jaw is totally fine. I do recommend that if you have to get tads to ask for wax because that has helped significantly. But I'm still getting used to the weird roof of the mouth piercings that I essentially have. Now this might be TMI, but this is something that I didn't expect. But for some reason, having the tads, particularly the ones on the roof of my mouth and the Invisalign, I don't know what it is with that combination, but I feel like I cannot control all of the saliva in my mouth. So I feel like there's just a bunch of spit collecting there all the time and it feels gross, and I know probably within the next few weeks that will subside. I will figure it out, but I would have wanted to know that. I think there are two main things that I hope you get out of this video. The first is that everybody's Invisalign experience is different, and some people are having to have more complex things done. Other people, all you have to do is get the trays and life is good. And if you're one of those people, you're really lucky. But if you're like me and you have to get rubber bands and these tads and all sorts of weird stuff, hang in there. It's probably not gonna be that bad. There's certainly some adjustments, and yeah, for a little bit, it's a little invasive. My other takeaway is I want to encourage you to speak up, especially if you think that something isn't right. Odds are, if I hadn't spoken up when I did, I probably would have been in even more pain now than I was this past week. You know your body best, but it's also your job to advocate for yourself. So please, if you're ever in any sort of pain or discomfort or something just doesn't feel right, be sure to speak up. And with that, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.